Hi, this is Bree. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I used to do the horoscopes a lot every month, and then I got so busy I couldn't do them anymore. And I'm trying to find time now to bring them back. What I what I've started doing, not only monthly horoscopes, Aries through Pisces, is I try to do the world horoscopes, the USA, what's happening in the USA. I find that it's really interesting to bring this to you and to discover things that the planets are telling me that is going to be transpiring in our world. So I just thought I'm going to start coming on here every month and doing these USA world predictions. And I hope that you find them to your benefit. I hope that they help you progress each day and each month and make better decisions, perhaps, and maybe perhaps even tell you when you need to pull back or when you need to move forward. Now, I will still be offering the Aries through Pisces horoscopes. I always do those as well, but I won't be bringing them to YouTube. What I do is I have them on my website, www.spiritualdesignAstrology.com. I will try to put the link below. I'm not sure how YouTube is working anymore, but I'll try to put the link below. www.spiritualdesignAstrology.com is where you will find me. And what I do is I put, and I will have the 2019 Aries through Pisces horoscopes up soon, but I'll put them up here. And I don't know if you've had a chance to read through your 2018 horoscopes, but it could be a hit and a miss. As we all know, it does take one's natal chart with the birth time and AM or PM, the city, the state, the country you were born in, and that tells us what you were born with, what your natal promise is, what your blueprint is. And then we put that chart with the transits around it. I might kind of stutter. I don't mean to. I haven't been doing this for such a long time, so bear with me. I'll get better as time goes on, I promise. And it'll tell if Saturn is perhaps hitting your Mars, your natal Mars. What does that mean? Now, I can say Saturn and Mars are conjunct in the transits, but unless it's hitting a natal cusp or a natal planet in your chart, it's not going to affect you. So hopefully I'm making some sense. Got to have that natal chart. Okay. Let's move on. I am doing a monthly horoscope January 2019 for the USA. I always use Sagittarius rising. It resonates with me a lot better than with Gemini rising. So that's why I do that. Okay. As we can see on January 1st, 2nd of 2019, we've got the sun and we've got Saturn, and they're conjunct in the USA first house. Now, when we have the sun in the USA first house, that's good for the people. The people are happy, unless we've got a malefic planet that has joined it. And we do. We've got Saturn. We've also got a lot of Capricorn going on in the transits. And this is going to be happening for quite a while. And it is going to be affecting people. Now, this can be good, again, for some people. It can be not so good for some people. It depends on your natal chart, people. It really does. I know everyone loves these monthly horoscopes that are being put out, but it's a hit and a miss. You really have to know what it's hitting in that natal chart. And maybe it's hitting a major cusp, such as the 1st, the 4th, the 7th, or the 10th, for something to really pop for you, to happen for you, to bring something in. All right, with that said, these two planets. Now, I am going to be following along with what I put in my blog, on my blog post. It helps me to follow along so I don't get off track. I have I have a wandering mind. I do. I've got natal Neptune in my 3rd house. It's natural. I have to control it, and I have to find ways to control that. And I find by following what I blogged helps me control it and not get off track too much. Because I could be seeing something happening over here in the chart, and I'm talking about this, and all of a sudden I'm over here. And this helps me stay on track. I apologize, but it really does. All right. So again, if you go to my chart, www.spiritualdesignastrology.com, you will see. Okay, I am going, right? Yes, I apologize for that. I do have my cell phone on and I had to answer that. I have some important phone calls coming in, but I do apologize. All right, let's see here. Make sure we're still going. It's still recording. It is. Okay, I don't know where I was, but also on my website, I do have a PayPal button. If you will donate, that would be much appreciated. Astrologers do not make any money. We all know that. And it is a lot of work to bring to you the blogs and what's happening in the world and what's happening in everyone's chart. So that would be so much appreciated. It really would make me so happy. Okay. Also, I think I know what I was. Um, the predictions, I will have 2019 up here. So I do the Aries through the Pisces predictions. All right, let's move back here and mark your calendars. As you can see, I have some very important dates coming up for the eclipses and the solar eclipses and all that good stuff. You're going to want to mark it. I also have a lot of hot spots coming up. So you are going to want to kind of pay attention to that. All right. So, all right, where was I? I think I was on, yes, I'm coupling the January 5th and the 6th solar eclipse with the fact that the sun and Saturn are conjuncting. Now, there's a lot of Capricorn going on. We know that. And Saturn is always delays. He presents obstacles in our lives. Sometimes we just wish we could just get rid of him. But he does serve a really good purpose. He makes us stop. He makes us think, how bad do you really want this? And that helps us go over things and put things back into perspective. Are we really wanting it this way? Do we really want to move forward this way? So that's what Saturn does. And I do see in the world astrology a lot of obstacles, a lot of delays, government, some type of legislation not passing. Now, land is going to be affected also. Saturn does rule mining. He rules housing. We'll get on down, and I do have that on my blog on what all that Saturn does rule. So you might want to take a peek at that. It's very, very important. I'm not all doom and gloom. If I see something fun, I'm going to say it. But if I'm reading the energies and it's not so fun, should I hide that from everyone or should I tell what I see? Because it's going to happen whether I tell what I see or rather I'm hiding it, right? And who wants things hidden from them? No one. So I will tell you what I see, and then I add an intuitive flavor to it. I do have that gift. I do. So I will add that to what I am seeing. Now, again, Capricorn, I do see it, Saturn Capricorn, same thing. It's conjuncting the second house cusp. And the eclipse is coming in on the 5th, 6th. Saturn, I believe, was at 11 degrees conjuncting the second house cusp. And we can go take a little peek at that. Let's take a little peek. And one thing I will do is I will try not to make this drag on. I know when I'm listening to some videos, it's like, get it out, spit it out. I don't know if that's because of the way I was made or what, but I don't mean to rush, but I know we're wanting to get to the nitty gritty, and I do try to get there in a structured fashion. I'm a Capricorn with a rising Virgo. My 10th house is Gemini. I have my North Node in there. It's in Gemini, so I've got a lot of Mercury all over me. And when Mercury is retrograde, such as it is today, it will flub me up. So I do try to make sure I've got a script to follow. Okay. Now, as we can see, the sun coupled with conjunct Saturn. Saturn is 3 degrees from that second house cusp. We've got Pluto in that second house. The second house is how the USA makes their money. As I said before, I am seeing an earthquake. I was just alerted a little bit ago by that phone call I took that we did have an earthquake. I believe it was in Alaska. I'm doing this on November 30th, 2018. So I'm going to say we're going to have another earthquake from this eclipse happening January the 5th, the 6th. Saturn, as I've said, he does rule law, structure, and this eclipse, as I've written, has Saturn all over it, has Capricorn all over it. You know, whenever you see Saturn in a house, you're being tested, you're being examined. It's kind of like you're under the microscope, if you will. So this eclipse is in an earth sign. It will cause, again, earthquakes, mining disasters, scarcity of corn, any product of the earth, you know, by drought. And I am seeing a great agriculture depression as we go on. I know you probably read we're going to start getting colder winters where you do have winters. The Midwest, we have winters. And they're going to start being colder, and they really are going to, that really is going to transpire. But I'm not doing a weather forecast. So anyway, Saturn is strongly linked to money and the material world. And with Saturn, we're again restricted. It causes fear. Sometimes where Saturn is in your chart, it will make you afraid to move forward. It's that fear factor. Now, on a global level, again, Saturn, you can go to my website, www.spiritualdesignAstrology.com, and read this. And on a global level, it represents the workers, the laborers, the miners, the crops, which grow below the ground, depression, recession. Yes, I see a recession coming. I see a slowdown coming. And I just wanted to verbalize that to you, that it could, sometimes everything that happens doesn't mean it's going to be bad for you. It really depends on that natal chart. What is it aspecting in that natal chart, right? So, you know, with that said, and I'll try not to say that again, just I want to emphasize that it is so important. You know, don't read the newspaper where it says whatever for the month of Aquarius or the week. It doesn't mean anything. It's a huge hit and miss. But again, when it comes to the natural world, Saturn's associated, it is with weather patterns, extreme weather, and so forth. And if you go to my blog, you can click here and it'll take you to read more on Saturn. But with this eclipse, again, I do see droughts coming, scarcity coming, and so forth. The weather is changing up, and you're going to want to look for that. And coupled with the Saturn and Sun conjunct, that's just not so wonderful for us as a nation. There's going to be, I do see for 2019 and for 2020, a turbulent times, and I'll get into that as we get going. So, and it's going to be cold, and as it does, it will intensify. Do count on that. I put a little cute picture up of some little, I think those are wolves, and they're wolves. So, and again, I'm not gloom and doom. I'm so happy. I'm such an upbeat person, and I think positive thoughts. But, you know, unless you know how to work with the energies that are coming in, why do you want to get smacked upside the head, even though you're thinking all these positive, wonderful thoughts, and you're just so happy and so forth and such. And then here comes a malefic planet conjuncting or opposite or squaring one of your natal planets, and boom, you're getting sidetracked. To me, wouldn't you want to be aware of that, to know what to do, to know how to handle those energies and how to work with them? Because it's going to happen whether you acknowledge it or not. It's going to happen. You know, what's the saying? Why does bad things happen to good people? It's all in the astrology chart. It really is. So, okay, Venus enters Sagittarius on January the 7th. Venus and Jupiter, which is Sagittarius, they get along perfectly. It's awesome. Very, very good for us. And on the 13th, we do have Jupiter squaring Neptune. On this day, I do see confusion, possible misunderstandings. There will be secrecy that comes out. Neptune rules that. Neptune rules the 12th house. So I do see a lot of secrecy coming out. I see mysterious crimes coming out. I see double dealings between political parties. And there will be a total of 3 squares this year with Neptune and Jupiter. And let's take a peek at that. Okay, there's Jupiter, and Neptune is in that 3rd house. And we're going to go ahead and get Jupiter jumped over there. And here he's one before. Okay, there he is on January the 12th, 2019. He is squaring our Neptune. Now, oil and gas is going to go back up. Make no doubt about that. It will go back up. So that's what Neptune rules is, you know, the oil and the gas. And we've got Jupiter in the people's 1st house. Jupiter's in his own sign, Sagittarius, which rules is Jupiter. So when I see this, and with the eclipse that was coming in, you know, Jupiter is great for the USA. Make no doubt about that. He is awesome. But however, we have an eclipse in the people's 1st house. But that eclipse is conjunct the 2nd house cusp of how the USA makes their money. Here comes Jupiter. He's going to expand it, make it bigger. Jupiter expands our good stuff like money and stuff, as well as he will expand our problems. You got to see what he's hitting in that natal chart, or maybe he's conjunct a cusp or something, right? So I see this making it bigger. This is going to make our USA financial issues a little bigger. And to me, that is a caution, you know, to kind of pull back. Maybe, you know, it's going to be a little bit slower going, right? Wouldn't you think that? That's most certainly what I think. It's slower going. Saturn wants to be sure. How bad do you want it? He's going to restrict. He's going to pull back. We've got Capricorn all over this chart. And remember back in 08, 09, when 10, 11, 12, when they were printing money to keep the USA from collapsing. With that, they also did allow money to go to the cities and the states. I'm going to have to pause. I'm going to cough. I've got to get a drink of water. Sorry about that. I've got like a cough, like an itching, and I think it's allergy, so I take an allergy pill. But anyway, moving on. We'll put this down a little bit. Okay. They printed money to go to help the USA stay afloat. And right now, it's time to pay the piper. I don't see any more money being printed. So city and states are not able to get those funds. So watch your city and states for raising taxes, like property taxes, whatever kind of taxes and so forth. Watch that, because that'll be happening. And again, they're not getting any more money. I don't see it in the foreseeable future of us printing any more money either. And that money's ran out. So this is, no matter who's president right now, this is going to be happening. So, and it doesn't really help when we have parties fighting each other. I wish everybody could just get along. That would be great. You know, find a happy medium. Can't find something that's going to, you know, there's not a one size fits all. So we're not going to be able to find, you know, one size fits this Republican Party, one size fits the Democratic Party. We're going to have to kind of find a common ground and what we can agree with. And certainly stop wasting taxpayers' money in their fighting, you know. Too bad every time that they didn't want to agree or meet in the middle. I would think it's too bad that none of them get a paycheck. Wouldn't that's what should happen. They should not be getting a paycheck, right? All right. So I see a downfall for the USA economy. I see a recession coming in. I see a slowing down. It would happen no matter who was president. It will happen. Okay, the flavor is there. Doesn't matter. So, all right. Let's see where we were. Okay, Jupiter square Neptune, and I did talk about that. That's not good. It's going to disturb the churches, political parties. I do believe I touched on that. We will have 3 of those. And yeah, I'm only reading the energies, guys. I swear I'm not making this stuff up. Who would want to make this stuff up? But on the 18th, we've got a fiery trine between Venus and Mars. And this, I do see increasing things like marriages and births. So Mars and, let's see here. I don't know what date I said that was on, but I'm going to try to get this up here. So I do see it between a lot of upbeat marriages, a lot of births, and so forth. All right, being 13, 15, maybe I need to go back. Well, okay, yeah, okay, close enough. All right, so a lot of births and so forth, and marriages and stuff, and it is a good time. You want to start a relationship, that would be the time to start that. That would be great for you to do that, okay? And or rekindle an old relationship. That too would be wonderful. All right. Now we've got a lunar eclipse coming in and a super moon. It'll be at 0 degrees of Leo. It'll be in the USA 8th house. We've got a total of 3 of these coming in. It's at 0 degrees, and that'll be in the months of January, February, and March. Now the lunar eclipse isn't a fire sign. It does produce extremely crazy happenings, public events, disputes. I do see murders. I see dangers of war, especially I see this danger of war. And we'll go back when Mars was conjunct the 4th house cusp. And that is at 0 degrees. And that was on January the 1st. And then we've got all this coming in. Remember when I was talking about the eclipse and so forth? So it's going to be turbulent. It's going to be chaotic. And we most certainly are going to want to know how to work with these energies, right? We don't want them to slap us upside the head and say, God, I wish I would have knew that. But some people are going to want to pull back. They're going to want to tighten their belts. They're going to want to hunker down for a little bit until we know which way this pony show is going to go, between the political parties. And it's too bad again, because it's the people that suffer. But I also see an earthquake and so forth happening again in the United States around this time too. And the possibility of war coming on January the 20th. It could be just a little bit before that. We'll kind of get this up here, and I will do it like the week. Here we go. And please do let me know if you like it done this way with my a wheel up here, or would you just prefer me talking without this? I'm good either way. So please do let me know. All right, and that would be at 0 degrees of Leo. And again, if I talk too fast, I don't mean to talk too fast. I don't, but okay, there we are. Okay, it's close enough, I think. I have perfectionist written all over me. I really do. Okay, 051. So we do, and I could go up a little bit more, and I probably will. I'll just go through the minutes. But by the way, I don't get a lot of these done because I'm just such a perfectionist. I gotta let that go too, because it's a killer. Okay, but yeah, all right. But you notice the south and the north node, they are retrograde at this time. And the north node is supposed to have the flavor of Jupiter. The south node has the flavor of Saturn. I don't know if you've ever heard that, but it is true. So we've got the South Node here in the USA second house, how the USA makes its money. We've got the North Node in other people's money in the USA eighth house. We've got a full moon. We've got Mars getting ready to conjunct Uranus. And we've got Saturn conjuncting the second house cusp. Again, what does Saturn want? Saturn wants stability. Saturn wants laws to be followed. Saturn is going to pull back and restrict for a little bit. So our economy will be pulling back and restricting for a little bit. So do count on that and do be ready for it. Again, I do see oil and gas going up. Neptune's direct. I do see it going up. And like every day, up, down, that's just the way it is. So let's go back here and see. And it is unfortunate for the government, also for the president during this eclipse too, but whoever was president, it'd be bad for them. So it doesn't matter. It also screams bad for the health of the economy. I do see a lot of sickness. As I have stated in my other newsletters, in October and November, I see some type of an epidemic, some sickness. So, and I did want everyone to share with us what they use to counter that. I take a lot of D3. I take a lot of vitamin C. What do you take? It'd be great if you shared with everybody. That way, somebody could, if this didn't work for somebody, they could try what you take and maybe it would work for them. It's just kind of helping each other. It's like helping each other in my community. That would, just sign up for my newsletter. Tell us what you take to keep healthy, what you do, and everybody can read that and it may work for somebody else just like it works for you. So that would be awesome. All right. Now, since this is in the house of other people's money, I do see struggles with financial affairs, danger, violence. And, this could start a lot sooner. And I also wanted to add something important that I do believe I touched on a little bit earlier. This is going to be the first of 3 supermoons at 0 degrees, January, February, March. So think about it. Could it be something new's trying to come in and the world is trying to get rid of the tired and old? Could that be it? I'm kind of thinking that that's it. And we're going to go through this chaos, this scrambling of eggs to make an omelet. And we're going to have this throughout 2019 and 2020, just the way it's going to be, especially when Taurus goes back into the sign Taurus. Uranus goes back into the sign of Taurus in March. So be looking for that. On also the same time as this full moon, we've got Mars square Saturn. Mars likes to go, go, go. Let's go to the 21st and let's just see about this. Are we already here? Okay, sorry about that. But they're squaring. Saturn's in the first house on that cusp squaring Mars. We've also got this super full moon. So yeah, I see a lot of devastations happening. Mars wants to go, go, go. It's in its own sign. It's ready. Let's go. What's the problem? And then we've got Saturn saying, whoa, not so fast. We're going to stop. I think you've progressed a little too far. So we're going to kind of stop right now. I am demanding some structure. And in your world, I don't see it. So I'm going to demand some structure right now. We're going to demand that we take it slow and we get back to the nuts and bolts of what this economy should be, and whatever that should be, I have no idea. But anyway, they have an idea. The planets have an idea. I don't know what's coming in. Are we going to Bitcoin? What are we going to? Because I know the money is going to be switching up. I know the banks are trying to hang on and their fingernails are dragging because they're being pulled out. They're not doing the people any favors, and they haven't. So Uranus is demanding change. Saturn's saying, whoa, let's structure this change. Let's slow it down a little bit. Let's see which way we're wanting to go with this. And then and only then will I reward you. So it'll be a slow process. Okay. And hopefully I did say, I do look for an earthquake, especially when that was conjuncting the USA fourth house. I do look for housing to go down. I do look for agriculture to suffer, rather that be because of the tariffs or just whichever, what's going on. It would have happened regardless. Doesn't matter what president, seriously. I know we can't print any more money. They printed money to high heavens when in 08, 09, 010, and so forth to keep the economy up. And now they're just not going to do that. Saturn's not going to let them do that. Saturn wants accountability. Saturn's the law, and he's come to make us pay the price for what has went on in the world. So I hope I am making some sense there, but he does reward. Please do know that. Let's go back and see where I'm at. Yes, something new is trying to come in. Yeah, Mars wants to go, go, go. Saturn wants to stop, stop, stop. Now, yeah, it's not good for the government. It's not good for the president. It does cause serious mishaps in national life. There is discontent with the people, kind of like a mean spirit against those in high places, riots, murders, an intimate person passing or assassinated. I do see that. Discontent with Army, police, Navy, the housing market going down further. And if I can say without anyone getting upset with me, don't you think that I know the housing, people want their houses to go up. I get that. But do you think they've kind of rose up too far, too fast? And maybe your children or your grandchildren, they're not going to be able to afford a house if it keeps going. So don't you kind of think there needs to be a little bit of a downgrade, money wise in that, like housing needs to come down? I do. I personally think that with my whole heart, it needs to come down. And I don't know if I told you this, but I am a real estate agent. Been a real estate agent since 2003. And I, again, with the North Node in Gemini, if you read on that, I'm able to multitask. I have to have a couple, three things going at once or I'm not happy. So, I do feel real estate needs to come down, so my children, my grandchildren can afford a home. It just needs to come down. So I do see that happening also. And again, with all this that I'm saying, I'm not gloom and doom. I am a very happy, upbeat person with a lot of energy. But sometimes things need to come down and reset in order for everything to run properly and in line with the heavens again, so people can be happy. And we're not going to see that overnight. We're not going to see that within the next 30 days. It's going to be a gradual thing happening in 2019 and 2020. So do look for that. But there's positive things too, Jupiter in its own sign, and that's awesome. It might make you feel like spending more money than what you've got. So kind of be careful of that, because of what we've got coming in January. I'm doing this in November. So you're not going to want to spend too much money on the Christmas scene, because you're going to want to make sure you've got the money in January, February, March, to pay those bills, if you will. And Jupiter in the sign of Sagittarius, just, oh, I'm so happy, what budget? You know what I mean? And you're just buying all these gifts and stuff. So you just kind of want to be a little careful. Okay, Mars trine Jupiter. It's very happy. Churches, hospitals, activity, public health is going to receive attention. Maybe, what comes to my mind is, and this is kind of conjunct the second house and first house, and this is in the fourth. What comes to my mind is the mental aspect. I do not believe we should have closed down so many mental institutions like we did here in the Midwest. I'm not going to say where I'm from, but we did. I think that's wrong. Why did we do that? We need them. Another thing that I would like to see changed is because, and I don't know if it's because it hit so close to home for me, when you have people that have a drug problem, an alcoholic problem, or maybe that are hearing voices in their heads or something. Um, we need those mental institutions to help them. We don't need them in there for 3 days, and because they have not got the insurance to keep them in there for 6 months to a year, they're put back out on the streets. That has to be rectified. That cannot go on. If they have to be in a mental institution for a year or 6 months, insurance needs to pick that up fully. We have these people who are shooting people or who are on drugs really bad or alcoholics and so forth and such. Do them a favor. They need to be, I feel, institutionalized until they're better. How can you put someone in somewhere for 3 days to a week and then turn them back out on the street and they're better? You know what I mean? So instead of so much money being put towards putting people in prisons over silly crap like pot or for extreme sentences, like selling pot or whatever the extreme sentences are, I would have to look at that again. I did know, but then I'm going off on something else, I guess. But use that money to build up our mental institutions. We need them. We do. Stop with the prison crap. I won't. I'll make it for another thing. But other things need to get out too, like the justice system. Let people get out what is the truth without some lawyer or judge stopping them from getting that truth out. That is ridiculous, but that's a whole nother story. All right. So Saturn and Neptune are sextiling. Now, this is going to be repeated 3 times this year. Go and look back at 1996, what happened then. Astrology will tell us, and it does, repeat things. If you've ever heard of karma, comes back 3 times. That's astrology. That was coined from astrology. So that'll be really good. This here, though, since Saturn is cusping that second house cusp, the sextile to me isn't going to be all that great. There is going to be an upset in the USA finance area. Something new is trying to come in, taking the old out is what I do see. So, let's see, good. Yeah, good things always come to those who wait. Okay. Well, with all that said, I am offering a 2-question reading for $75. What I will do is it will not be on an MP3. It'll be through an email. You'll ask 2 questions. I'll answer each one. Under your question, I'll have an answer. So I will offer that for $75, and it won't be just a short yep or nope. I'm more intense than that. I kind of go into it further than yep, nope. So anyway, you might want to take me up on that offer. And February is going to be a little bit more intense. March, when Uranus goes back into Taurus, that's going to be, oh my gosh. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Again, please do go to my website, www.spiritualdesignAstrology.com. See what I have to offer. Look around, take a peek. And if you would, please consider donating. That would be awesome. That'll keep me going and be able to continue bringing this and continue to do YouTube and all that good stuff. All right. With that said, I am going to go ahead and cut it here. Many blessings to everyone.